The final whistle blows, and something in your chest just drops. Heavy, hollow, a little bit sick, low in the stomach, like you just got actual bad news. Your team lost. The scoreboard sits there, stupid and final, and you cannot look away. And the strange part is, you watched the whole thing from a couch. You weren't even on the field. So you tell yourself the grown-up thing. It is a game. 22 strangers and a ball. I had zero control over any of it. And then you take it to bed and lie there replaying the one moment it all turned, unable to sleep over a result you could not have changed if you tried. And a small, worried voice asks the question you would never say out loud. Why does this hurt this much? What is wrong with me? So let me say it right up front. Nothing is wrong with you. You are not weak, you are not childish, and you are not, for 1 second, overreacting. What you feel is your wiring working exactly as it was built to, firing on schedule to an alarm older than language. Because for almost the whole story of our species, a loss was never just a game. It was a survival emergency. Tonight I will show you the 3 quiet machines your brain just ran on you. But the real reason it hurts is stranger than all 3. So get comfortable, and to see it, we have to go back. A long, long way back. Long before scoreboards, before leagues, before anybody kept a single statistic. Picture your ancestors in a small band, out on the open land. And picture a contest, not a sport, a real one. The standoff over the better stretch of river. The fight over the hunting ground. The slow, tense face-off between your group and the group on the far ridge that wants what you have. Now feel this in your body. When your side lost that contest, you did not lose points. You lost rank. You lost your share of the food, the safe ground, the protection of being on the winning side. And you lost it together, with your whole band, all at once. The world got measurably more dangerous for everyone standing next to you. So think about the math your ancestors lived inside. A win was lovely, a better season, a little more comfort. But a loss could mean going hungry, getting driven off the land. In the worst version, not surviving the winter at all. And that is the lopsided secret at the heart of all this. A win and a loss were never equal and opposite. You bounce back from a missed meal. You do not bounce back from being cast out or killed. So a brain that treated every loss as a real emergency, that overreacted to the downside every single time, made the safe mistake. The ancestor who shrugged off defeats eventually shrugged off the one that mattered. The one who felt every loss in the pit of the stomach lived to worry another day. And it went deeper than feelings. It went into the blood. The biologist Robert Sapolsky spent years among wild baboons watching exactly this. And one pattern keeps showing up. The animals lower down the ladder, especially the ones whose rank is slipping, carry more stress hormones day in and day out. A drop in status is not just a bad mood. Across the whole primate family, it is a genuine, physical, chronic stress state. Because the crash had a job. That heavy pullback feeling told you to lie low, to not go pick the next fight, the one that, on top of a loss, might finish you. Your heartbreak tonight is the echo of a circuit that once kept your whole line alive. So that circuit is ancient, and it is wise. But drop it into your living room tonight and watch what happens next. Look at the loss that actually wrecked your evening. 22 strangers, a ball, a scoreboard in a stadium you will never set foot in. You did not lose rank. Nobody is taking your food. By tomorrow morning, by every measure that matters, your life is exactly the same as before the whistle. But your defeat detector cannot tell the difference. That is the mismatch. The alarm was built to read one thing, a real drop in your standing and safety, and it has no way of knowing this loss costs you nothing. Same ancient circuit, Same full survival response, poured into your nervous system over a result that, by next week, changes nothing. And once you know the alarm is firing, you see its fingerprints everywhere. The replay loop at 2 in the morning, your brain trying to win a fight that is already over. The appetite that walks out of the room, the short fuse with people who did nothing wrong. The sheepish little urge to take the jersey off and quietly put it away. And here is my favorite tell, because it is so sneaky you do it without noticing. Listen to your own pronouns. When your team wins, what do you say? We won. We. Right there on the field, arms up, part of it. But when they lose, listen. It quietly becomes, they lost. They. In a single syllable, without deciding to, you peel the defeat off your own identity and hold it at arm's length. Hold on to that little word, because what is hiding underneath it is stranger than all three machines combined. So let me hand you the receipts, because the science under that gut drop is a little stunning. Start with the math of the wound. In 1979, in the journal Econometrica, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky published what they called prospect theory. And here is the thing that quietly runs your whole evening. In the mind, a loss does not weigh the same as a win. A loss weighs more. Losing $100 hurts about twice as much as winning $100 feels good. Honest catch, that twice is a typical estimate, not an iron law. But the direction never wobbles. One bad defeat can outweigh a whole season of wins. That is the arithmetic your mind is actually using. Then there is what happens inside your skull. In 2007, in the journal Science, a UCLA team led by Sabrina Tom and Russell Poldrack scanned people's reward systems as they faced possible wins and losses. And as the possible loss got bigger, the reward circuit, the part that lights up for everything good, did not flare with fear. It went dark. It dimmed down faster than that same circuit lit up for an equal win. Losing does not switch on your fear, it switches off your joy. And it switches it off harder than winning ever switches it on. Then there is the part that lives in your blood. In 1998, in Physiology and Behavior, researchers led by Paul Bernhardt tested male fans watching the World Cup. Winning fans, their testosterone rose. Losing fans, it fell. They did not move a muscle. Their bodies tracked the result as if they themselves had just won or lost the fight. The crash you feel is not just a mood in your head, it is a measurable drop in your bloodstream. And one more, because it explains why it hits some of us so much harder. In 2012, in PLOS 1, a team led by Leander van der Meij studied Spanish fans. Their stress hormone, cortisol, climbed as they watched, bracing the body as if a real threat to their standing were on the line. And the spike was biggest in the youngest, most devoted fans. The body braces hardest in the people who care the most. If you took it harder than everyone in the room tonight, that is not because something is wrong with you. It is because something in you cared. So 4 findings, 1 verdict. Your mind weighs the loss double. Your reward system goes dark. Your testosterone falls. Your cortisol braces. A defeat program working perfectly. And here is where everyone stops and calls it a misfire. Right program, wrong century. But I've been telling it to you slightly wrong, on purpose. Because your brain is not misfiring. It is not overreacting to a fake loss. It is reacting, correctly, to a real one. Remember that little word. We won. When you bonded to that team, you did something ancient. You folded it into your own identity. You made it part of your tribe. In 1976, the psychologist Robert Cialdini put a name to it, watching students wear the colors and say "we" after a win, then quietly distance themselves after a loss. So the loss tonight was never 22 strangers and a ball. It was a real drop in the tribe you had made your own. You are not overreacting to nothing. You are reacting to something real, just not the something you thought. Okay, deep breath. Because I do not want to leave you sitting in the dark, feeling like a haunted house. So let me give it to you as straight as I can, because this is exactly where it would be easy to oversell. This is a lens, not a courtroom proof. Nobody's ancestors kicked a ball over a survival ground. What sport does is pick the lock, and culture turns the volume all the way up. The jersey, the anthem, the years you have spent loving this team. And here is the one I will be most careful about, so please hear me. None of this is about real grief. When you lose an actual person, someone you love, that ache is not a misfire, and it is not your wiring playing a trick on you. That is love, doing the truest thing it does. Please never let anyone, including me, file that under ancient glitch. It is in a category all its own, and it deserves all the time in the world. But the loss on the scoreboard? That one we can finally see clearly. The piece that dropped tonight was real, but it was the piece of identity you had lent the team. Your food, your safety, your actual rank, none of that moved an inch. So let it ache for a night. That is the circuit, not a flaw, and you are allowed to feel it. And then say the thing your ancestors never could. I know you, alarm. I know what you are for. But what dropped tonight, I can pick right back up. Because that gut drop in your chest was never weakness. It is the most loyal circuit you own, still standing guard over a tribe you get to choose how tightly to hold. It kept your line alive for 1,000,000 years. The least we can do is thank it, and then gently tell it the war is over. So the next time the whistle blows and your chest drops, and you cannot sleep over 22 strangers and a ball, be kind to the one taking it hard. It is not childish. It is your oldest instinct, doing its job a few thousand years too late. And maybe, send this to the friend who took the loss harder than anyone, the one who is still not over it. Tell them they were never overreacting. They were just listening to a very old, very loyal alarm. And tonight, finally, somebody explained what it was for.